All right, so Kathleen Death Panel Sebelius meets with the Democrats in Congress, their caucus. Why weren't Republicans invited? Anyway, here to shed some light on it is the Financial Service Chairman, Jeb Hensarling of Texas, to talk about this and much more. How are you, sir?
Hey, Sean, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
So, as I understand it, Sebelius meets with the Democrats but not the Republicans. What's that all about?
Well, I don't know. I suppose if we want to learn more about this, we have to get tickets to the Jon Stewart show. She has an ability to go on and do late-night comedy, although we know that Obamacare is really a tragedy. So, it's just more politicizing this whole thing. It's stonewalling Congress. But finally, she will make an appearance on October 30th before the House Energy and Commerce Committee, and she's got a lot to answer for.
Well, it seems to me that can you imagine anybody being in charge of a big rollout such as this with so much fanfare, $634 million spent, 3 years to put it together, screwing it up this badly? Why does she still have a job? I mean, would any private sector employer hold on to that person at this point?
Oh, absolutely not, Sean. As you know, in the free enterprise system, somebody would have been fired. And had this been a private company regulated by the federal government, they would have called for somebody to be fined. And yet for Washington, it's business as usual. And so the tragedy is, as we speak today, tens of millions of our fellow countrymen are being forced in the land of the free to buy health insurance they don't want at prices they can't afford at a website that does not work. I mean, it's just tragedy.
You have to wonder at this point if Obama isn't regretting taking Republicans up on their offer to delay the individual mandate a year and get this thing all straightened out.
Well, the truth is, I hate to go out of my way to help the man, and that wasn't my motivation, but my motivation was, as much as I don't want this law to be imposed upon my constituents, it clearly wasn't ready for prime time. It's not even ready for a 3 a.m. Infomercial. I mean, they're trying to say, well, every rollout had glitches, but, if you look at something like Facebook, they used a fraction of the proceeds on something that was 10 times as complex, and they were highly successful. And this is the easy part, Sean. Getting the website right is the easy part, and it is just a foretaste of what is going to come.
Now, you talked to us the day that you had the meeting. You were one of 18 Republicans that went over to the White House and met with the president. What was that like? What was he like?
Well, I've been in a few meetings with the president. It was dissatisfying as most. It was quite clear that he wasn't particularly interested in talking to us. I think the original idea was to bring all House members who were Republicans and to lecture them. We brought over some of the committee chairmen in the leadership. But it was unsatisfactory, and, it was I don't know, an hour and 10 minutes of going around in circles, and nothing came of it. And disappointing, as always, as every other interaction with the president has been.
What is he like when you walk in the Oval Office or walk in a room and he's there? Let me guess. He's hey, Jeb, how are you? Let me guess, he's a schmoozer.
Well, frankly, he's not all that good, Sean. No? And at least in my own case, he called me Jim the first couple of meetings, so I'm glad he finally figured out my name. But he's fairly serious, and he has a tendency to do most of the talking. I will say he was a little bit he did more listening at this meeting than usual, but the end result was the same. And that is he was unwilling to do any negotiations whatsoever. And it's kind of like, he can change Obamacare, just nobody else can. I mean, he's changed it arguably 1,200 times with waivers. He's actually signed some changes into law. And then, again, it's just unfathomable to think that he could decide that working Americans, your bosses don't have to comply for a year, but you do. And how he gets away with that is just mind-boggling to me.
All right. Well, she said she had time for, what's his name? Sanjay Gupta? Is that his name? Some guy on CNN. Gupta? I don't know. I don't watch CNN. How would I know who the guy is? Why are you laughing at me in there? I watch Fox. That's what I watch. Anyway, so... I
hope I'm not supposed to help you here. I don't know.
No, you don't know the guy either, do you? I never heard of the guy. Well, I've heard of him, but I don't know the guy. Anyway, she blames the volume. We know that's not true in this particular case. the website crashed. He asked what the president knew, and if we had an ideal situation and could have built the product in a 5-year period of time, we probably would have taken 5 years, but we didn't. How many years do they need to build a website, for crying out loud?
Sean, they've had 3 full years to work on this. We can't even get the exact amount right on how much they spent. We can't get an accounting there. We believe it's somewhere in the neighborhood of $400 to $600 million of hard-earned taxpayer money thrown again at a website that doesn't work. It's not like they had 60 days. They had 3 full years. And again, this is the easy part. This is just the portal, just the website. Into this entire abomination. And if they can't get this right, and so now we have, Sean, as you know, December 15th, roughly 6 to 7 weeks away, you're going to have to sign up for one of these exchanges if you otherwise don't get health care through another source, and you're going to be fined if you don't, and it still doesn't work.
Yeah. All right. Well, Congressman Hensarling, thanks for all you're doing. Keep up the good fight. And I hope we get more conservatives there to fight with you soon. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. We'll keep fighting.
All right, 800-941-SEAN is our number if you want.